Well, my name is Michael Cioni. I'm the Director of Operations and Digital Intermediate Supervisor at Plaster City Digital Post. And we're basically a post house that's been involved with nonlinear and digital acquisition filmmaking since about 2003. The infrastructure for working with desktop tool solutions in order to get them to the professional grade is something that people in the Red community have been dealing with for years. So Plaster City ended up very early on getting involved in the QuickTime base, the Final Cut Pro base world, the Apple world, the Aja Kona world, before it was really even a saturated tool used in the market. So when Red came out and came around and started suggesting that there's a way to keep this data-centric workflow because it made sense for us to get involved with it since we've already been doing it so far. What we do is basically provide them with an offline system in R3D form as a QuickTime proxy movie using Final Cut Pro. So in the editorial department, really Final Cut Pro is all you need to get this thing going. And that's a real-time process. You don't actually have to be rendering or transcoding or processing things just to be able to edit with Red. It really is instant gratification. But on set, what's another side of the spectrum that's really remarkable, that really helps the post community out, is the ability to work with Red Cine and Red Alert, because we can actually track the metadata information that DPs and directors put into their files in the acquisition side, and we can load that into our offline Final Cut systems with the same color information, so that DPs no longer have to be concerned about what's happening in the processing section of their dailies. The first day that I started doing it was direct connecting a Firewire 800 drive that was able to have the footage downloaded on set, and I literally dragged from the Finder into my bin and was dropped into a timeline in editing at 2K with a Kona 3 card in real time. And the results that I'm able to get without having to spend the time digitizing are incredible. We had no idea that the quality of Red's offline would actually surpass even the highest quality offline tools of any of the other formats, which we had to work really hard to achieve. We actually have to work a lot less in order to achieve a better image when it comes down to Red. When we look at Red fitting into the post-production model for television, the simplest way to put it is we're trying to switch out 35 negative for R3D files. And really, nothing else needs to change in order to achieve a successful and cost-effective workflow for television. What we essentially do is take the telecine process, which everybody's used to doing, and we're now making it a data cine process. So all that we've changed out is this little card here for 35mm negative, and once we process this in real time to HD tape, nothing else in your process has to happen or be adjusted in any way, shape, or form. It still gives the DPs the latitude they're used to working in color correction, it gives the editors the user-friendliness of working with HD tape, and it gives the production crews the ability to save a lot of money in the process for rolling long takes. So the cost of making these tapes and turning around sunk dailies is still an advantage for the old-fashioned NLE systems, but for the Final Cut Pro workflow, it's the most efficient and even way faster and even higher quality image. This is going to be tremendous for effects-driven shows, because what they used to have to do is make a pull list and rescan their negative at whatever resolution the effects house is going to be working with. In the Final Cut world, the editor actually can simply right-click and reveal the original 4K in the Finder and send that right to the effects lab with the proper in and out marks, and they can do the effects in 4K in the raw medium. Every single day, we're able to take Red files that all come from 4K cards, and we can make a television deliverable, an internet deliverable, an online deliverable, a DVD daily, and HDCam SR tapes, and really, our staff is barely cooking at that speed, because there's so much automated work in order to do this. Red's made it so simple in order to make all these deliverables. And what we want to do, just like the team members at Red want to do, is not prove the concept on something really simple and small. We want to push it all the way to a point in which it should start to fail. And what's awesome is it continues to impress us. It continues to hold up.